Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the summary for the day of Ukraine war. Sorry, this is a summary for the day of 370 for the 28th of February for the Ukraine war and the special military operation in Ukraine. I don't know why I messed up that opening. And let's start off with Ukrainian sending massive drone strikes all over the place. And according to Ryba, the pro-Russian source, they say that at least 15 UAVs were sent into or towards Crimea. Most of them were shot down. And this comes not just on Crimea. There are a lot of weird drones flying all into Russian territory. And these are not, but the ones that went into Russia are not attack drones. It seems like according to pro-Russian sources, they are saying that the Ukrainians are planning something big, and they are sending all the different drones or different type of drones to see their capabilities in terms of control, perhaps to see how far they can go, what they can do, and it's putting the Russians on alert for a future possible massive drone attack or swarming attack against Russian territory. So this is the primary concerns by the pro-Russian sources or the Telegram channels they are currently discussing. They are pretty concerned about this, especially there's one case where there is a drone flying probably from Finland. According to the information is that it actually flew out of Finland over St. Petersburg, and as a result the airspace above St. Petersburg was closed for an hour. And the official Russian statements say that it's just training exercise or something like this. So a lot of skepticism, a lot of speculations. So moving on the southern front, so we don't have any information. The supposed Ukrainian amphibious assault is still not happening yet. There's no news about that vessel that was sent to Avdiivka. So something must be brewing over in the southern, in the Kherson region on the Ukrainian side. Something must be happening very soon. Over at the Zaporizhia region, along the Zaporizhia line, there is only a report of shelling at Zeleny High. Again, the Russian Defense Ministry reported shelling at this position. It's unclear why this particular spot is being called out for shelling by the Russian forces. And moving on to the Donetsk Front. At the Donetsk region, we have the Russians continue their attack in the dachas east of Vuhledar. So the Russian forces continue their attack in this direction, and this time around is being reported by Surya Maps, and this information is also being reported by other Russian sources of this attack here. However, the Russian Defense Ministry simply said that they launched air strikes and artillery strikes against Ukrainian forces near Vuhledar. So this still not something major just yet, but it seems like the Russians need to secure this region in order to do an attack on Vuhledar, which is kind of silly. They don't really have to do that. I feel that they should just capture this part rather than go for Vuhledar itself. They should actually attack for the rear. But what do I know? Moving on, at the Marinka region, there is fighting reported at Marinka, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, as well as at Vuhledar. There is geolocation by Deep State UA of Russian forces in this position. So this indicates the front line. Because the video that they geolocated basically is the Ukrainians attacking the Russian forces at this position. So this actually established the front line to be around here, which means that we are actually more or less correct, that the Russian forces is actually still around very near to Vuhledar, with a distance probably from around less than a kilometer from the closest building. So very difficult for the Russians to take, I guess. They can't really take this town just yet. Moving on from the Marinka region, we are now into the Avdiivka Front. At the Avdiivka Front, we have fighting reported at Nevelsky, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. as well as at Pervomaysky, Vodian. And then there's a geolocation of the front line. There is a video of the Russian forces trying to attack in this region here. They are moving along the forest line, or not sure in which direction. And then they got shelled terribly and lost quite a number of armored vehicles. There is fighting reported southwest of Avdiivka coming from Opitne. And there's also another one attack reported by War Gonzo from the south of Avdiivka, which means the Russians from the Opitne region try to attack towards Avdiivka direction, and from Spartak moving towards the north. And this had not seems to worked out, I guess. This is not the first time the Russians tried this. In the north of Avdiivka, we have fighting reported at Kayamka, Krasnohorivka. Kayamka is by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. The one by Krasnohorivka is reported by Maroshenikov, Ukrainian source, or no, pro-Ukrainian source, and Ryba reported the fighting at Novobakhmutivka. The current situation remains to be the Russians are pushing in all directions along the Avdiivka front in this way. So it'll start to look to me a bit like Bakhmut in the earlier days, like a few months ago. So let's see how this goes. Moving on from the Avdiivka front, there's nothing happening in the New York front. If you are a Ukrainian soldier, I guess this is probably one of the best front line you can be at. And over at the Bakhmut front, we have fighting reported towards Bilahora, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, which means the Russians are now pushing in this direction. This information is reported on both their evening and morning report. So this attack must be something pretty significant for them to report twice. And over at the Ivaniske region, the Ukrainian Defense Ministry dropped the name Chasiv Yar. So it's kind of weird because they say that they repulsed attack in the area of Chasiv Yar. And so if the front line is around here, calling this area Chasiv Yar seems a little bit far from Chasiv Yar itself. But let's see, maybe that's just how the way they want to report it. And there is fighting reported at Ivanivske, according to Ryba. The Russians are still pushing for Ivanivske at this moment, as well as at the highway region here, and as they are trying to push in this direction. So far, no success. Even on Ryba's mapping, the Russian front line is still around like this. The pro-Russian sources are still mapping it in this way. Doesn't seem to have a breakthrough just yet. Moving on to Bakhmut city itself. At Bakhmut city, there is fighting reported in the southwest, according to Deep State UA. In the south, similarly, Deep State UA. On the eastern part, we have fighting reported by Surya Maps and Ryba, with the front line straightening up along one of the roads. The road is called Shestra Road. Along this entire front line, it was straightened. Previously, the front line was something like this, so now it's entirely have straightened. And Ukrainian Defense Ministry simply reports fightings at Bakhmut, but however, there seems to be a change of tone of sort. There is quite a few telegram posts by the Ukrainian government side claiming situation at Bakhmut is extremely difficult. They've talked about some units getting awards for fighting at Bakhmut, some chest thumping, and saying that one of these units have 4 guys getting the Heroes Medal, which is rookie numbers, compared to the guys on the DPA army. I issue hero medals every single day. So then there is fighting reported in North Bakhmut, according to Surya Maps. With the Russians continue to make some progress in this direction. The front line previously was like this. So let me go nearer. No, I should just go nearer. So previously the front line was around like this. The Russians continue to make progress. Now the front line looks like this. So, and there is also fighting near Kromove. The front line have not changed, but Ryba and Surya maps both catch up with the Ukrainian deep state UA's mapping that the front line is now here. So previously, on their mapping, it wasn't this far yet. They have now catch up with deep state UA's mapping to indicate that the front line is now this close. There might be a possibility where the Wagner private military contractors are pausing at this moment so that the logistic can catch up. And so yeah, this is a situation here at Bakhmut with attacks in all directions, squeezing the Ukrainian forces in basically half of its basically it's almost an encirclement, but not yet. But it's seriously time, as I mentioned in the analysis or quick update for the I posted yesterday on the main channel, that it's really time to consider a withdrawal. So far there are rumors that the Ukrainian side are is not going to withdraw, but there's also other rumors saying that they're going to withdraw. So it's very confusing. I think even the Ukrainians themselves have no idea what they want to do. And there's also fighting reported in the area of Avdiivka, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, which means that they have acknowledged the Russian forces to be around this area here. And there's fighting reported near the area of Dubovo-Vasilievka and Orikovo-Vasilievka. So this entire salient here continue in multiple directions, and not fully clear to see where the Wagners try to go. Probably there's shelling being reported in the video around this area here. So around this area here in the video that was posted by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, saying how life sucks there. So that seems like according to someone, he posted that shelling is actually a mortar, which actually means that the Russian forces are quite near. So I mean, but mortar can really hit quite a distance. I mean, the front line is just 5 kilometers away. It's not that far. Moving on, we have nothing on the Fedorivka-Vasilyevka region. I think the Russians may be giving up on this area for now, because this part is more exciting to them. And into the Siversk Front, the only fighting in the Siversk Front now is at Bilohorivka. The Ukrainian Defense Ministry reported fighting in this area yesterday. And there is a geolocation of Russian forces. On Russian TV, they actually show a tank hiding in the forest, and it was geolocated by deep state UA. So they kind of laugh at this Russian propaganda. So what this helps is that they help us establish the front line at Bilohorivka to be around this region here, because there is Russian forces hiding in this area, which means the Ukrainian front line can't possibly be here, which was where I mapped previously. So yeah, moving on into Kreminna Front. At the Kreminna Front, fierce fighting continues in the Serebryansky forestry. The Ukrainians are really good at fighting in the forest, so the Russians are really having a very hard time. So the Russians are attacking near the area of Shipilivka, near the area of Kuzmine, and in the area of Dibrova. These are all the three different town names that was being mentioned by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, Russian Defense Ministry, on the fighting around this area here. Kuzmine is actually here. You need to zoom in to see the name. And so fighting is still ongoing at Kreminna Forestry or Seversk Forestry. North of the Kreminna Front, the northern part of the Kreminna Front, there is fighting reported near Chervenopopivka, according to the Russian Defense Ministry. Ukrainian Defense Ministry mentioned Nevsky and Makievka. So the Russian forces basically are fighting on the White Front in the northern part of the Kreminna Front. So far, no big updates. Every update is kind of pointless. Like the Ryba actually reported here, I didn't indicate, but they say that the Russian forces captured another high ground around this region, which is like no, but they don't mention anything when they lose it, so it's not very significant if you ask me. Moving on to the Svatove Front. And the Svatove Front, we have fighting reported at Nemakivka. According to the Russian Defense Ministry, bombardment is reported at Novoselivsk, according to the Russian Defense Ministry as well. And that's all from the Svatove Front. Nothing special. And over at the Kupyansk Front, we only have shelling reported at Kreminna, according to the Russian Defense Ministry, as well as at Sinkivka, according to the Russian Defense Ministry as well. There's no ground offensive being reported in the Kupyansk Front over the past 24 hours. And that's it. And so thank you for watching. Please press the like button, subscribe if you have not subscribed, share this everywhere you can. Today don't have exciting news, but no, do still continue to support and watch and keep track, and I'll see you in the next